to put the state in, too.
Exactly.
Oh, that is so true.
I love it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm going to Cracker Barrel after this. All right. Meantime, we have this for you. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says she has declined President Trump's offer to send U.S. troops to Mexico to help crack down on the fentanyl crisis.
Madeline Rivera is live in Washington with the details. Maddie?
Good morning, guys. The president has described productive conversations with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, but it appears Sheinbaum is drawing a line on the cooperation between the U.S. and Mexico. Last month, during a phone conversation with Sheinbaum, President Trump suggested U.S. armed forces take a role in battling Mexican drug gangs. Here's Sheinbaum's response.
He said, how can we help you fight drug trafficking? I propose that the United States Army enter to help you. And you know what I told him? No, President Trump. The territory is inviolable. Sovereignty is inviolable. Sovereignty is not for sale. We can collaborate, we can work together, but you on your territory, we on ours.
Meantime, Trump administration officials are taking aim at the New York Times for their headline about a man who was arrested and charged with violating a corpse on a New York City subway last month. ICE sources tell Fox the man was in the country illegally, crossing the border several times since the 1990s. There's no mention, though, of the man's immigration status on the headline. The administration is riled up about that. DHS now out with this post, making their edits to the headline, crossing out the word man and putting in illegal alien instead. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying, wow, update your story, New York Times. It's worth noting that when the article was published, the man's legal status was not known, but it looks like the article has not been updated since April 28th. Joey, Rachel, and Kevin.
Thanks you so much, Maddie.
You got it.
Really quick, want to mention on the story about President Sheinbaum in Mexico. I mean, this is a socialist narco state, and she has not controlled the crime in her country. Many people believe that she is in bed with the cartels. The cartels control 40% of the land mass in Mexico. They control elections. Two cycles ago, 24 candidates that were up for office in local and statewide offices were assassinated. One of them, a mayor, had his head cut off and put on the roof of his car. I mean, this is a very dangerous country, and the fact that she is not wanting help means she's not putting her people first. She's actually, I think, compromised in a lot of ways, and a lot of people think that.
You know what? I agree with you, and what's really troubling is that is literally on our doorstep, and people love to sort of elide past the inconvenient fact that, oh, a few people come over and they're looking for work or this, that, and the other. Listen, you have to understand the incredibly dangerous nature of what's happening. And I'm not just talking about Sonora. We're talking about deep into the countryside. She's got a real problem on her hands. And if she won't handle it, I suspect this administration, in cooperation with the DOD and DHS, will handle it for her.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about this in response to Maddie's report just a few moments ago. And in that, she also talked about how the White House is calling out the New York Times for, overlooking legal status of people doing terrible things. Michael Goodwin of the New York Post has this op-ed out, and this is the top line. The press hates Trump more than it loves the truth, and the hyperbolic fear-mongering we've seen is proof. Here's a quote from the article. It says, although the media haven't changed, the rules of the game they're playing this time around have changed because the president and his new team have learned how to fight back much more effectively. So much so that they are flipping the script in a big way. Now the media are being forced to play defense in a desperate bid to fight off the president's effort to upend their monopoly on access to him and the administration. Really great op-ed. But to bring it back to what we're talking about, I mean, the media just trying to run cover or talk about how bad Trump is doesn't work when they're now having to defend themselves because the things they're doing is so egregious. Regular Americans see it and are talking about it.
If you have not read this article, you should. You should go to the New York Post. Michael Goodwin's piece is excellent. It lays out, you read it, and it just sort of puts into words everything that you are already seeing play out. I think the best example of this, you guys, is the press, freaking out about Donald Trump deporting illegal criminal gang members.
Exactly.
And then and saying that, you know, trying to fearmonger and make everybody think that, you know, they're
Maryland
rounding
dad.
up people,
Yeah.
random people, you know, housekeepers and landscapers. I mean, that isn't what. And so how did Donald Trump